Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another episode of Adventures Chatlog, and this week I'm by myself again. So no Deli again this week. She's a little bit busy with RL stuff and never really got the time to be together. Every now and then we'll see each other, but it just don't have the time to actually sit down and have a chat. So sorry if you guys are expecting Deli back this week and it's just me again talking and rambling on, but the show must go on even without Deli. And I've been scouring, as always. Every week I scour the forums for any topic that we can talk about in Adventures Chatlog, and that's basically how Adventures Chatlog is. I basically look for things to talk about in the forums that has been trending and, you know, getting a lot of responses, and I read quite a bit. I read quite a bit as to what people are talking about, and of course we also do some news here in Adventures Chatlog. But for the most part, we would like to talk about things that are happening in game. So this week, the topic that really caught my eye is, and I can't believe we're still discussing this because we actually touched this topic a little bit back in a few episodes ago. I think in the early stages of Adventures Chatlog, and it's about tank DPS. Now the forum topic is actually titled Tank DPS Harassment, and this was posted by a player named Hania. I think I said that right. So it's Hania Ignis, I think the name is. So she or he has posted here, I know this is a touchy subject, but what is the mindset of everyone expecting tanks to do more DPS? I got kicked out of a dungeon recently because I wasn't tanking in Sword Oath, and because of that I wasn't doing enough DPS to stay in the dungeon, I guess. Yesterday I was removed out of a hunt group kill in A/S ranks because I was tanking in Shield Oath also. Why are tanks expected to tank in Sword Oath now for even the most casual content? Why are tanks in general expected to do X DPS? And another thing, can I report people for harassing me for my status on Final Fantasy XIV logs? Apparently I'm not good enough to farm a Shinryu, yet I have the dog and 9 of the weapons. All I want to do is tank freaking dragon and have a shot at the scale, but because Final Fantasy XIV logs say I'm bad, I guess I can't. I feel like I can't even play the game anymore because of how toxic the community has become. Now this is a very touchy subject, and we have discussed this in Adventures Chatlog before, and I believe it was with Ashika that I sort of had this conversation with. I can't remember that far back, but definitely at the time I don't think I was a tank yet. I haven't changed to maining paladin because of raid and stuff like that. So now that I've been tanking for about 3 months, and I have been tanking in the past before, but basically I was just doing expert and stuff like that. But now that I'm tanking at endgame content, I can tell you guys that for me, if I'm doing a dungeon, an expert roulette, a 4-man dungeon, that I will actually take my tank stance off during boss fights because I don't see the reason, apart from doing your first tank combo just to get ahead, so people actually don't, you know, if you have a good DPS during your expert roulette, they won't take hate off you, and this just gives me a little bit of that cushion. So basically I'll be on tank stance and then do my tank combo, and then go to my DPS stance. And this is just me as a player, but I like to push myself to see how far I can go. So it's not a matter of, how do I put this is the right way to do it. It's more, for me as a player, I want to improve myself. Now, if you're one of those players that actually say, you know, I just want to take this at tank stance, I'm not that confident switching to a DPS stance, that's completely fine. But if you're just sort of trying to not do it because you're too lazy to do it, it's a little bit different. I guess in the end, to me, if I haven't really went into an expert dungeon as a DPS in a very long time, and the only thing that I do as a DPS right now is basically expert roulette, as you guys can see. But in level 70 dungeons, I haven't really been the DPS for a long time, and I don't know how other tanks do it. But if that tank decides to stay in tank stance, I don't think I would judge them very much, because I don't know how good of a player they are or how confident they are, you know, as a player to be on DPS stance. And do you trust your healer enough, especially in expert roulette as well? So you don't know what sort of party you're gonna be in. Is the DPS gonna be good? Is the healer gonna be good? So if you're getting kicked because you wanted to stay in tank stance and you feel like, I'm taking too much damage, the healer is not healing me, they really shouldn't be kicking you out. And even to the point, this is just me, my personal opinion, even if you just stayed at tank stance and I don't know the reason why, I don't think I'll kick you. But if you told me I'm just too lazy, I might consider kicking you, because you know, you probably have the skills to be in the DPS stance and, you know, rotate your cooldowns appropriately and whatnot. Hell, you don't even need cooldowns really in expert dungeons. So, you know, I think that was the only time. But if I don't know you and you just stay in tank stance, I don't think I would mind that very much. It just make sure I don't get, you know, I don't die as a DPS. So, and I'll do my job. So, yeah, and that's just my personal opinion on this matter. And I just find it weird as well that you get kicked out of a hunt group when you're in tank stance, because that's the whole point. Like, don't you get the rewards depending on how much threat you have? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So if they kicked you because you're in a tank stance, well, you're lucky to get away from them. It's because they actually don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I feel like my peeve, I guess my peeve is the healer DPS thing, because I know there's a lot of downtime as a healer. So if I don't see them DPSing, that pisses me off more than the tank not being in DPS stance. I don't know why, but I played both, and like I said, I like to push myself to my limit. And when I played as a white mage, there was a lot of downtime where I don't really needed to heal the tank, and I'm like, I can DPS here. You know, I think that's more of my thing rather than the tank. But again, I don't think I'll be kicking anyone out of an expert roulette because of it. But if we're in a static and we're in, say, raid situation, then, you know, I would have to ask that person to get a little bit better, because you can't just be standing there doing nothing. If you can output something, you can do this. That's the whole point. You know, you need to push yourself in those raid tiers, especially Savage content and now the Ultimate Bahamut. I'm sure the DPS would have to have a little bit of DPS every now and then. So that's my stance on the DPS, and I feel sorry for you, Hanaya, because you sure shouldn't have been kicked out of that dungeon in the first place, and of course you shouldn't have been kicked out of the hunting party. Now, as for Shinryu EX and the problem with FF logs, and this is where things got complicated in this forums. A lot of people are calling out people with FF logs, and some people were saying, you know, that's harassment. Yes, it is harassment if they tell you, you know, you suck because of your FF logs. They shouldn't be doing that in the first place. Now, I am not saying I haven't done it. I have looked at people's FF logs to see how they are and how good or bad they can be, but I still give them the benefit of the doubt. I still let them try. I still let them in my party, and if things are not working out, then that's the only time I can kick them. You know, even when we had to change some of our static members, which we have now, there were times we were looking at FF logs of other people, but we still gave them the chance to actually play with us and see how they, you know, that person or these people will gel with the group. You don't have to be like 95th percentile, 90th percentile to be in my group. I just need you to be able to actually do mechanics and actually do a decent amount of DPS, and that's all I'm looking for. You don't have to be, you know, at the end tier of your job. You just needed to be able to learn quick, you know, and stuff like that. And I guess other statics can be different. So if you have been subjective to I guess with FF logs saying you're bad, yes, you can report them for harassment, because even though FF logs is not banned or ACT and all that, it's something that Yoshi P has said before, and we've talked about in Adventures chat log as well. He said just don't talk about it, but if you do, then they have to do something. So, you know, if someone's done that to you, you can report them. I'd say just report them. And we don't need those kind of peoples in the community. And those elitist thinking, they can just, you know, why don't they just find like their friends to do it and not go for a party finder or a raid finder? You know, so that's just my opinion on this, and I know this topic's actually quite long because there's a lot of bad, like harsh things have been said in this forum topic, and it's still going on. At the time of recording, there are, hang on, let me just double check. There's 47 pages, and there's about, I think, let's see, where is it? 466 replies since this post happened on the 14th, so that's been 6 days ago. Yeah, that's just my opinion on the matter, and if you guys disagree, that's completely fine. Everyone has their entitlement to a different opinion. If you're one of those people, yeah, you need to be in the 90th percentile at least before you actually think, you know, and all that. And I mean, EX primals, I don't know if you actually need to do FF logs for that. Savage, I can understand, but if you look at like EX primals, I don't think you need to check someone's FF logs for that. I mean, if if they have multiple weapons that they can show you, then that proves that they know how to do the fight, and you don't need like 90th percentile people to beat it. Anyway, that's it for that topic. Now we're going for a shorter topic on the next topic, and this is something I saw as well in the forums, as always. And the topic was, should Square Enix remove unsync on older contents? Now the forum posts actually didn't specifically say this, but the post actually said that they hated people for getting their first kill in unsync mode. So I feel like they're getting a free kill or something like that. Now for me personally, I don't mind, because they're old content. And I know some people feel like they're entitled to something, that, oh, I did it at this time, I did it when it was hard. Titan Extreme was hard. Now it's so easy. Like, I mean, I guess that's a bad example, because Titan Extreme can still be difficult if you don't know what you're doing. So, yeah, I feel like I'm happy with the unsync thing. I mean, if they want to do it as a sync party, then good for them, They want to experience it, then go ahead and experience how hard it was. But if some people are only trying to catch up to content, like new players, like, why like stop them from getting to where other people are? That's just gonna make it so that people will get fed up and felt like, oh, this is too hard, I'm just gonna stop playing now. And that's not what SE wants. They want people to play their game, and people want to catch up to other people who are doing end game, not to just be walled off because of I guess content that no one ever does anymore. Like, I guess that's not the right word to say that no one ever does it, because obviously people still do it. You can have your FC members, friends maybe, that can do it, but if you're alone, like a new player, an FC that doesn't really want to do it, or there's not a lot of people to actually want to do that anymore. Obviously there's still people who want to do it, but most of the people that are doing it, they're just farming for mounts most of the time. They're actually not there to farm gear, because those are really outdated gears. So that's why I don't mind this unsync thing, because you can experience the fight as a sync. If once you've beaten it, then hey, if you want to do it as a sync content, get your friends together, you can still do it that way. Because yeah, no one really forces you to actually do it as unsync. If you're one of those people who want to do it as sync in your first time, and you're trying to get people to do it, then that's okay. That's good for you. But if I'm a new player, and usually if I'm a new player, I don't know a lot of people, and I'm just gonna go to Raid Finder or something like that, I probably want things to be a little bit easy, so I can just get it out of the way and move on to the next content, because I want to catch up to people who are playing endgame. And if the story is enough of a wall already, if you're a new player, let's be honest here, it's a very, very long story, and even with that, it's like that's the whole chunk of the game basically that's walling you off to get to the end game, because that's why they have jump potions now too, so you can experience everything out of the Heaven's Word. If you don't want to know the story, you can just go ahead and get there. So that's just my opinion, of course. I actually don't know why you have to hate people who are doing things unsync, because these people just probably want to catch up as much as they can, and you know, and if you're gonna stop them from doing that, they might leave the game, and SE will lose a lot of subscribers, like especially new ones. That's what you need. You need a lot of new players coming in. Yeah, and that's it basically for this week's Adventures chat log. It's basically me talking for more than 20 minutes by myself. I would have rather had someone to chat with, but everyone seems to be a little bit busy these days, and so of course it's gonna be Christmas soon as well. I will try to upload, but try not to get your hopes up. Anyway guys, that's it for this week's episode. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it informative at all. As always, you can catch me on Twitter at Monchkinz Gaming, and of course on Facebook at Monchkinz Gaming. And I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Ultra Sun, traded in all of my old Pokemon games to play the last Pokemon 3DS game. And then yeah, you'll catch a lot of my updates on Twitter actually. Anyway guys, this is Monchkinz logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.